Heading into week 10 of the fantasy football season, I'm giving you my starts and sits at the tight end position. It's important to note that we have some very important players on bye. Ravens, Bengals, Patriots, Jets are all on bye, so you won't have Mark Andrews. You're not going to have Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry, Tyler Conklin. You're going to have to find alternate options. So what I'm going to try and do in this video is tell you guys who are potentially on the fringe, who I like their matchup, and I think they could have a good game script. Why don't you do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe to the video, and comment down below. Tell me your hardest start-sit decision of this week. All right, my first start of the week goes to Tampa Bay and the rookie Cade Otton. The Bucs play the Seahawks, who currently give up the second most points to the fantasy tight end position. And Cade Otton's been pretty good filling in at that tight end position for Tom Brady, which historically has been very, very valuable. Since week 7, he has played over 81% of the snaps, and he hasn't seen less than 5 targets in a single matchup. Last week, he scored 17.8 points. He had 6 targets, caught 5 of them for 68 yards and a touchdown. I think this is a player that, while this team is struggling, he seems to be giving some answers as far as how they could expand the playbook. I think you're going to continually see Cade Otton get involved. He has built that trust with Tom Brady, and that is very, very important in this offense. So it's a good matchup. This team gives up a lot of points to the position, and you're connected to a quarterback who is starting to favor this player in Tom Brady. So again, can't predict the tight end position. It's impossible, but I like Cade Otton this week. All right, my second start of the week goes to TJ Hawkinson, who plays the Bills. Hear me out. The Bills are pretty good defensively against tight ends. They actually give up the 10th fewest points to the position. But TJ Hawkinson is a volume play at this point. Last week versus Washington, it was a close game throughout. TJ played 91% of the snaps. He saw 9 targets, caught all of them for 70 yards. It was my belief, my opinion, that when this trade was made, TJ Hawkinson was going to have much more reliable volume moving forward. It just makes more sense to me. He's a higher priority in that offense compared to what he was in Detroit. So in a game that should be competitive, I think Hawkinson is going to be a volume play. I wouldn't be surprised again if he had anywhere from 6 to 10 targets in this game versus Buffalo, which should be very competitive, should be a lot of points in it. TJ Hawkinson, it's not a good matchup, but again, could get into the end zone. Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends, and we're starting to see that already with TJ Hawkinson in Minnesota. My third start of the week, hear me out here. I'm really trying to give you some options. I'm really trying to mix it up and give you some options here. Tyler Higbeast versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals give up the most points to tight ends in fantasy. So they are absolutely atrocious against the position. This is the most ideal matchup you could think of for a tight end. Now, Tyler Higbee's been really, really weird in fantasy football. Last week, he had 1 target, no points versus Tampa Bay. The week before that, he had 6 targets. The week before that, 2 targets. The week before that, 10, and then 14 before that. So he's been a confusing player because I feel like they need him, but sometimes they just decide not to use him. I think that Sean McVay is a smart enough coach to realize that this is a real weakness for the defense he's about to face. I'm happy to fire up Higbeast if you don't have a better option. I think you could see anywhere from 5 to 7 targets this week, and he could get into the end zone for the first time versus this Arizona Cardinals defense, which has been very, very bad versus the position. So Tyler Higbeast, I know it's a really rough go so far, but I think you can start him. My last start of the week, which is something that I'm much more confident in than Tyler Higbeast, is the rookie Greg Dulcich at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee currently gives up the 10th most points to the position, and Dulcich, ever since he started, his first start was in week 6. His first game this year was in week 6. Every single week so far, he has scored over 10 fantasy points, and he's been on the field for over 59% of the snaps. In week 6, 3 targets, he had a touchdown. In week 7, 9 targets, and in week 8, he had 5 targets, but he put up a career-high 87 yards. In an offense that desperately needs a third receiving option, Greg Dulcich is fitting the bill. Teams are shutting down Judy, they're shutting down Sutton, and typically there's been no one else for Russ to look towards. Now you have an athletic, field-stretching tight end in Greg Dulcich, who is becoming that third option for them in the offense. I like it. I think his role is going to continue to grow. Russ has a really good connection with him, and I think it's going to continue this week versus, again, the Titans, who give up the 10th most points to the position. Now, I'm going to quickly give you 2 sits of the week. And this isn't going to be all that difficult, but the Bears are a pretty good matchup. They face the Lions. And I know some people want to start Brock Wright, or they want to start the other player. I can't remember his name. But at this point, with this little amount of knowledge, you cannot start a Detroit Lions tight end. I don't care if you're in a tight end premium league. I don't care what it looks like. Do not start a Detroit Lion tight end. It is not the go for you. It's a bad matchup, and I don't think they're going to prioritize them. My second sit of the week is Mike Gesicki versus the Browns. Gesicki's been super up, super down. He's had 4 games where he's had 2 or less targets. He's had 2 games where he's had 7 targets. It's really, really confusing, but this isn't a good matchup. Okay, the Browns give up the 7th fewest points to the tight end position, and Mike Gesicki is not the priority in this offense. It is Tyreek Hill, it is Jalen Waddle, and it's Jeff Wilson / Raheem Mostert. So when you are the 4th, 5th maybe option on your team as far as like being involved in the game plan, it's hard to really rely on this guy. So way too many bust performances this year. I think that this is another one against Cleveland. So I'm going to sit Gesicki, even though somehow he's still a top 15 tight end. So why don't you comment down below? Let me know your favorite start of the week, your hardest start sit decision. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in a future video. See you there.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.